Welcome back. It's time for Media Watch on France 24, our daily look at the top stories in the press. James Creedon has the lowdown. Good evening.
Good evening, Lana.
And first off, of course, we are coming to the very end of the French presidential campaign. It ends in a few hours' time. Social media have been more present in this campaign than ever. And you say it is maybe a factor that's helped to dumb down the campaign?
Well, I guess it's Friday. The first round is Sunday. It's a moment to take a step back and to look at how it has operated, really, how social media has changed the way things work.
Is it the 140 characters thing?
I think, well, that, but also the fact that I suppose there are more viral videos than ever. There are more hashtags than ever. There are more kind of slogans and catchphrases and parodies than ever before. And so just to show a couple of examples, this isn't just a French phenomenon, of course. You can see here online on Storyful, they're talking about Mitt Romney and Cookiegate. Now, this is a sort of a minor scuffle that he got involved in, where a TV camera picked him up questioning whether cookies were really homemade. And this video went viral, and you can see somebody spliced it up with an actual video of the Cookie Monster responding. And it's funny, it's entertaining, it's a good laugh, but it's certainly not the major themes that Mitt Romney, as a candidate, might want to address and might want to.
I'm sure it's not what the electorate has in mind.
This is it.
Probably not what they want to know.
The cookies aren't really.
Are they real?
This is it. Now, and indeed, at the French election, if you take a look at this headline here on Time newsfeed, several days after Nicolas Sarkozy had a big rally on Place de la Concorde in central Paris, there was a tiny little moment that the media here picked up on where he took off his watch, and I think we have those pictures and we can roll them. That became a viral video. Now, I think it shows the extent to which communications is a major headache for PR people nowadays. Because
nothing is private anymore. Everything is caught on camera.
Right, and you can
including
imagine
this little gesture, and I remember seeing comments about it online the next day.
That's right. He took off an expensive watch and put it in his pocket. People were saying, was it because he was afraid it would be robbed? But, this was a massive political event. People spent days and weeks preparing it. And what do social media, I suppose, pick up on, even though it was a TV station that initially broadcast it? A tiny little detail. And some people would say that maybe it's to point out that that is emblematic of something, but often it's really, and you can see here another example of this in parodies of political slogans. La France frotte instead of La France forte,
which was Nicolas Sarkozy's
slogan, but frotte means to scrub. So I suppose the point I'm trying to make is viral videos by their nature are short, 30-second videos with
they're
one
short,
idea.
They're clever, they're funny,
but
they're not necessarily what makes a campaign.
That's it, and they're often not very complex, similarly with hashtags. So the problem is where politicians try to run after the social media way of doing things, and the political debate gets muddled, and the noise around these sort of parodies, I suppose, clouds out the real issues. And I think that is something that we certainly can say has been a trademark of this political campaign.
Now, this is something we've definitely noticed here in the France 24 newsroom, but one poll is saying the public isn't actually that interested in politicians' attempts at social media.
That's right. They're tweeting, they're Facebooking, they're really making an effort to catch up. You can see here.
Does it really
La France
work?
Forte. Well, one poll for IFOP says that 76% of internet users just aren't interested in how politicians are trying to do the web
being
campaign.
Nicolas Sarkozy's friend or François Hollande's friend on Facebook.
That's right. They don't really care. 76% of them, it seems.
Interesting. If politicians are trying to adapt to social media, they've really been making an effort. But it goes the other way around as well, right? Hacktivists are also taking close interest in politicians.
It's funny because I would describe it almost as a dance at the moment between the government, between the state and online activists. They're trying to set new rules of the game, really, because social media and the internet has changed everything. And so what The Guardian has done is they're looking at this battle for the internet, the battle for freedom online, and at 20 key figures. It's a very interesting dossier to have a look at. But just to sum up the idea here, on the one side you've got the government, on the other side you've got groups like Anonymous, Mega Upload, WikiLeaks. And so one person they spoke to, a guy by the name of John Perry Barlow, he has an advocacy group called Electronic Frontiers Foundation. He says what we now see is what unites these different groups, because they are all quite different, Mega Upload sharing videos online and Anonymous, is the idea that the future is not about vertical hierarchical government, but about peer-to-peer horizontal government. And so they are advocating a new way of doing things in the information age. We're moving to the information age and away from the industrial age. So government, the paradigm has totally shifted. So while politicians are trying to play catch-up, you have activists like this saying, hey guys, don't even try, we're way beyond you.
You can't control it as well.
We're way past you.
The French election has given us a good example for how hard it is to control what happens online. Here in France, it's illegal to broadcast the results of exit polls before polling stations have closed on election day.
Right.
But the information could get out online.
It's a really, I think it's one of the most interesting aspects of the end of this campaign. The fact that from 6:30 onwards on Sunday, there will be exit poll results and foreign media are going to be broadcasting them. But the polls don't shut until 8 p.m. So there is a law saying you can't share this information. But actually, what
it doesn't even make sense anymore.
That's right. And even Nicolas Sarkozy himself said 2 days ago, this is an obsolete law. Now let's take a look at what people are doing online, because they're coming up with code language to get around this rule.
Oh, there you go.
So the flan, which is kind of like a cake, and this is a reference to François Hollande. I mean, how do you even unpack kind of symbols like this? The cake is in the oven, and the tomato is ripe. The tomato would be Mélenchon, who's very red and very socialist. Hungary, there's a cold wave going through Hungary, and Nicolas Sarkozy is partly of Hungarian origin. The goulash, they're talking about goulash. Let's see if I can find ones that are more accessible.
They've got keywords basically for every candidate, so you'll be able to know.
That's right.
What exit polls are
Look at
saying
this one.
anyway.
This is a bit mean. The garden gnome is a size 26 shoe, and that could be like 26% in the polls. So people are going to find ways
there
around
these
these laws.
People are going to get creative. Thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Anna.
Very interesting debate. James Creedon, that was Media Watch on France 24. Thank you for watching. Up next is Web News. We round up the top internet content of this week.